What's up, guys, and welcome to the Line Change. In this video, we're going to be talking about and asking the question, who's going to be playing with Elias Pettersson this season? And by that, we mean on his wing. Obviously, we can already say one name will be a definite lock, and that is Brock Boeser on his right wing. I don't see Brock Boeser, moving off the first line unless they decide to shuffle things around. But we're more so talking about the left side, or as in this case, the left wing. So we're going to go over an article that discusses this and, basically answers this question or throws out some possibilities. But before we do that, I want to do as I always do, give a big shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that incredible artwork you see behind me. And you guys can get your hands on your own Gassy Jack Art by checking them out at GassyJackArt.com. You can also find them on Instagram at Gassy Jack Art. So once again, that is GassyJackArt.com. So let's go ahead and dive into this article. Let me just find it. There it is. So this article is coming to us from the fine folks at the Daily Hive, and in particular, Rob Williams. So for those of you that do not follow me on social media or do not follow the channel on social media, go ahead and follow, because I'm always posting stuff about potential future guests and whatnot. So if you did, you will have noticed that I have a guest coming on the podcast on Tuesday, and it is none other the writer of this article, Mr. Rob Williams, Rob the Hockey Guy. So be on the lookout for that coming on Tuesday at 2 p.m. I'm going to be sitting down and chatting with Rob Williams on the podcast. But let's talk about the article that he wrote, where he goes on to say who will be on Pettersson's line for the Vancouver Canucks next season. There are a lot of question marks surrounding Elias Pettersson heading into next season. The Vancouver Canucks star is coming off the worst season of his career with just 45 points, 15 goals, 30 assists in 64 games, so that's an obvious statement. And with the Canucks now so thin down the middle, they need the 26-year-old to bounce back more than ever. Among the Pettersson believers is Jake DeBrusk. We actually just put out a video talking about the interview that Jake DeBrusk did with Landon Ferraro and John Shannon on the 100% Canucks podcast. You guys can check that out right here. I think that Petey is going to have a good offseason, DeBrusk told Landon Ferraro and John Shannon on the 100% Canucks podcast. He's going to come back in good shape, the skills there, his hands, his vision, and I don't think you can teach those things. You can teach the other things. I have a lot of faith in him. I signed a 7-year deal to play with him, so I believe in him more than probably most. No other player on the Canucks roster played more with Pettersson than DeBrusk last season. Now, obviously, there was a time where they shuffled things and DeBrusk wasn't playing with Pettersson, but for the most part, DeBrusk and Pettersson were two peas in a pod. After a rotating cast of characters on his line in 2023-24, DeBrusk was supposed to be the reliable line mate Pettersson needed. For a variety of well-documented reasons, it didn't work out that way. Pettersson and DeBrusk played 517 minutes and 28 seconds together, posting an expected goals for percentage of 45.67. That's a lower percentage than Pettersson had with Connor Garland, which was a 62.99%, Niels Höglander at 52.34%, and Brock Boeser at 46.89%. When I first came in, I tried to be his best friend, tried to get as close as I could to him, which I probably failed at, because I think he got a little annoyed at me at the end of the year, DeBrusk said with a smile, but he can't get rid of me just yet. So there's that little tidbit, from the interview that wasn't in the Canucks Army article. It remains to be seen who Pettersson will play with next season, but finding him a reliable running mate will be of the utmost importance. Now, that is the end of the article. It doesn't actually discuss really who. It just suggests that it could be DeBrusk. but I wanted to go over a few names that could potentially play with EP40. Obviously, as we mentioned at the start, Brock Besser is very likely a lock. Sorry, there was a mosquito that just flew right by me. Obviously, Jake DeBrusk could be a good possibility and most likely possibility as well. There's also, obviously, one of the newest members of the Canucks, Evander Kane. He could very well play on Petey's wing, and they may actually, at some point during the season, see how Kane fits with Pettersson and see if there's any maybe chemistry. They might also put Kane on the wing just to give Petey a little bit of muscle on his wing, and somebody who can protect him. A lot of Canucks fans have mentioned that with the Kane signing or trade rather. Sorry. Another one is Nils Höglander. Now, obviously, it's well documented that Elias Pettersson absolutely loves playing with Nils Höglander. Obviously, they're both Swedish. It's a safe bet. You can say that they're friends, and they enjoy playing with one another. So he is obviously a possibility. There's also guys like Connor Garland could very well play with Petey at some point. It's not guaranteed, obviously. Obviously, people are probably thinking Garland is more of a second line, maybe even a third line guy. But I think after Garland's season last year, he's more of a second line guy, at least in my personal opinion. He could also maybe, and this is a very slim chance, you could see somebody like maybe Linus Karlsson playing with Petey at some point during the season, just to see how things go. So I wouldn't rule that out. But for the most part, I think you can narrow it down to 3 people. That is, of course, as I mentioned, Jake DeBrusk, Evander Kane, and Nils Höglander. So those are who I think who will play with Petey this upcoming season. But I want to know from you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think Petey will be playing with this season. Obviously, we're talking more left wing as opposed to right wing. As I mentioned already, Brock Besser's basically got that on lock. Also, how do you think Besser and Pettersson will fare this season playing on a line together? Obviously, people know Brock Besser relies on a center to drive their own line. It's why he had so much success with JT Miller, because Miller was able to feed him the puck, and that is how Besser got his 40-goal season. Obviously, last season, Besser had a setback, and then obviously, towards the midway point of the season or around January, Miller got traded, and then you saw Besser's production dip even more because he didn't have JT Miller feeding him the puck. So once again, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you guys think it's going to be Nils Höglander, who could get some reps on the first line with Elias Pettersson? Do you think it could be Evander Kane? Do you think it's going to very likely be Jake DeBrusk, who spends a majority of the time on the first line? Once again, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find and interact with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change. Find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on X at Line Change Van. You can find us on TikTok at the TLC Podcast. You can also find us on Blue Sky at The Line Change. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. That way, if I announce a guest on social media and not, in a video, you'll be the first to see it. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, let's go Canucks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.